then, let me jump through this then. Now, how is it then? What will I experience? What will happen? What's happening when I experience adversity within the confines of my relationship with the Lord? How do I handle adversity within the relationship? The first thing is that what happens is it positions you to accept the plan of God. Adversity will position you to accept the plan of God. Listen, the blind man in this text is not searching for anything. There are other stories in the Bible where the blind man called out and blind Bartimaeus called out, but this blind man is not searching. He's simply positioned probably in a familiar place for him because he's been blind since birth. He had become accustomed to this lifestyle. And sometimes when it seems as though our situation is not going anywhere anytime soon, we find ourselves accepting it as a normal part of our life. And it's not that I'm giving up on God. It's not that. But sometimes we feel as though maybe it's meant for me to be going through this. Maybe it's just a part of what I'm going through. But what you may not know is that you have been divinely positioned to have an ordained encounter with the Lord. And I had a friend tell me one time, she said, Marcus, it seems crazy that ever since I started trying to really live right, things seem to go bad. Now, I know the super saints in here can't admit to that, but I think I got a couple of folks, maybe in this section right here, maybe right here, that can say, you know, in my relationship, things start getting ugly after I really start trying to get myself together. Things start getting real bad when I start trying to get myself together. I started embracing my relationship with God, and things start getting ugly. Do I have any witnesses here, some real folks that can say, yeah, it was good, and then when I got saved, things start getting ugly? And I know it's rough sometimes, and I know there are moments when you really want to sit there and look at heaven and say, really, God? But I came to kill a devil on this morning to let you know that the reason it seems hard on you, because before you got saved, the enemy didn't think you was a threat. But now here you are trying to get close to God. Now you on fire for the Lord, and the enemy done sent out a word that's the last thing I wanted her to do, because when you start getting serious about God, you're now a threat to the enemy's kingdom. Look at somebody and say, I'm a threat. And what he starts doing, he begins unleashing his arsenal, and everything begins to appear to go southward. The bills begin stacking up. The relationship starts to suffer. Health problems start surfacing. Money goes beyond acting funny, and family drama all everywhere. And before you know it, you find yourself spiritually handicapped. But it's really bad when your adversity is not just private, but it really gets ugly when your adversity becomes public information. Oh my God, we're going to kill a devil up in here, Pastor. Oh, that's when the modern day disciples, not the ones in the text, but the modern day disciples began asking the same question they asked in John chapter 9. Oh, don't get brand new. You know them church folks. As soon as you start going through and you start struggling, they start whispering, girl, she must have sinned somewhere. All that shouting she doing in church, all that jumping, but if she was saved, all this wouldn't be happening. She must be getting punished. You got some church folks mumbling. But what's even worse is if you're not careful, you will begin believing that you're being punished for something that you did back in 1987, and you start looking stuff, yeah, child, I guess I'm just being punished. I guess that's what it is. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes the Lord will allow your situation to get so bad that he won't allow anybody to help you out, because he knows that if they help you out, you'll end up giving them the credit. You'll be like, girl, if it wasn't for my lawyer, girl, if it wasn't for my uncle. But God says, I'll mess this thing up so bad that when you come out, all you can say is, girl, if it had not been for the Lord on my side. Oh God, oh God, oh God, God. And that's what happens. So when he comes and shows up, he passes by and reveals that he has a plan for your life. And when he does that, It's at that point where you're able to shake off everything and get back on track. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact it's such a joy when your spectators that just knew that this one was going to tear you up. I'm telling you, I'm talking about they sitting around Facebooking and tweeting and Instagramming, talking about, girl, I know this here going to show enough got ugly. I don't believe she going to be in church this Sunday. I don't think she going to make it. Did you hear? He left all of them. She ain't got no money. She ain't got no job. I don't expect to see her in church, but here you are, done pranced your Holy Ghost hips up in here this morning. You sitting there still giving God praise because you realize that God has a plan for me. Yeah, I know it's still tough, but he's got a plan for me. I have no idea what the plan is, but I know if God is orchestrating it, it's gonna blow my mind. And then there's why some of y'all got that get on your neighbor's nerves praise. Some of y'all got that. Some of y'all got that get on your neighbor's nerves praise. That's that praise that you keep jumping up and you keep hollering and you keep shouting and they getting mad at you. But you can look at them and say, but boo-boo, you don't understand the hell I went through this morning just to get here. I ain't talking about last year. I'm talking about this morning. So excuse me if I get on your nerves. You may want to change your role because I got a praise and I got a reason. Does anybody got a praise in here that can get on your neighbor's nerves? Yeah. I still got to praise. I still got to praise. I'm still unemployed, but God's got a plan. Yeah, my money is still low, but God is working it out. Yeah, I'm still taking medicine, but God's got my greater on the way. Yeah, I know he walked out on me and the children, but that's all right. Because a matter of fact, I'm not going to cry over that situation anymore. All of you techie people, I give you permission right now. Go on Facebook, pull him up on the instant message, say, boo-boo, I just wanted to let you know, thank you for walking out my life. Because what you don't realize is you just positioned me to the plan of God. Oh, does anybody know that God's got a plan for your life in here? Oh, if you know you God's got a plan for your life, I dare to shout, preach, boy. My God. Sit down. I got 14 minutes. Sit down. Not only does adversity position you to accept the plan of God, but adversity will prepare you to adhere to the instructions of God. I'm glad y'all shouted already. I did that on purpose. Jesus does something here that's very interesting that many people question and have debates about. But for the sake of time, I will not go into the symbolic or foreshadowing methodology of what he did. Me and your pastor going to talk about this over lunch, and he going to come back and share the whole spitting and the ground and all that good stuff. But Jesus, watch this. He sees the blind man, has a dialogue with his disciples, spits on the ground, makes some mud, place it on the blind man's eyes, and tells him, go wash. I wish somebody would spit and act like they finna come close to my face. Man of God, but what's interesting, the blind man doesn't ask any questions. He simply gets up, leaves, go wash, comes back seeing. This is what's interesting. But once he leaves, his condition is still the same. The condition doesn't change when Jesus puts the mud on his eyes. The condition changes when he does what Jesus told him to do. See, let me help you. Come here real quick. Sometimes we as Christians miss out on the full manifestation of our miracle and breakthrough because we end the story with the shout on Sunday. Oh my God. Pastor preaches a powerful revelatory word that comes right down your street, and you jump and you shout and you cry. You might even fall out. But when you leave and don't adhere to the instructions that God gives you, a word comes and declares that there's a financial miracle coming into your life. and you receive it and you bless it and you pull it down. But then when the opportunity to make extra money is presented to you, you walk away from it because you expecting money just fall out the sky like manna. You just expect somebody just to show up with a bag full of money. Deuteronomy says that he will give you the power